So I've officially made it back to Cali, and when I'm in Cali, I literally just hang out with my mom and read, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I am about 200 pages into The Love Hypothesis. Initial thoughts, it's not even initial thoughts, it's really just like I'm already 200 pages in, and at first I was nervous because this has a lot of hype, a lot of hype. And I was just really nervous that I wasn't gonna like it. First of all, Grumpy Sunshine is not my thing. I just don't like men that are assholes because I feel like the grumpy is like it just gives you permission to be an asshole, and I don't love that in my male characters. So Grumpy Sunshine is usually not for me. But I will say, as the story's going on, I am starting to like it a lot. I, for some reason, really like the STEM parts of it. I'm really enjoying just like the atmosphere and the vibe of it, of them just being like in academia. I wanted to annotate it, but I just ended up like not really, like you can't really see, you can only see them like a little bit, but I'm not annotating it a lot. I just like, how do you decide what books you want to annotate? There are some things that are making me kind of annoyed though, and that is some of the interactions between Olive and Adam. And honestly, like Adam is having the same effect on me that Aaron Blackford, please don't come for me, Aaron Blackford girlies. Like, I get it. He's a smoke show. I get it. But like him and Adam, like to me, they give the bare minimum and the girl just like fawn all over them. Like, I don't understand. He's giving her literally the bare minimum and she's now in love with him. I don't get it. But I'm going to keep reading. I'm maybe hoping to finish tonight. I took an actual vacation, so I'm not working this week. And I'm gonna read, and I like to read books that I have at my house because I've had them for so long, and it's kind of fun to just like go back and read something that you were into a long time ago and may not be into now. Good morning. It is the next day, the next morning. I did not read any of this last night. I think I read maybe like 3 pages and then I knocked out. I was so tired. I mean, I was on a 5-hour flight and then 3-hour time difference and then not sleeping for like 2 nights in a row. So tired. So I just knocked out the whole, like super early. And so today, my plan, at least for the morning, is to read some more of this. I'm pretty far in and I would love to finish this today. It is the first day of my vacation. So I think I have dinner tonight and that's it. So let's see how far I can get. You know what this book could really benefit from? A dual POV. Because I want to know what's going on in Adam's head. All we get is Olive. And to me, there's a lot of ruminating. She's doing a lot of thinking and adding a lot of extra to the things that Adam does, because to me, he's not doing that much. So I would love to know what he's thinking. Like the whole bar with chocolate, like the whole granola bar with chocolate. Was that intentional or was it not? And maybe they explain it later on, but like I know he doesn't like chocolate. So it's like maybe he got a bar that like was covered in chocolate because he knew that she liked chocolate. But like, that's just all speculation. We're just speculating that hopefully he was considerate enough that he got this bar for her and it's all in chocolate. It's all speculation. Okay, I'm about 291 pages into The Love Hypothesis. I feel like I'm almost done. I feel like I only have 100 pages left and I'm hoping to finish this today. I get it. I get the hype. Like, this is one of the better romance books that I've read, and I've read a lot, nearly not as much as some other people, but I love the romance genre, and I don't think this does anything new, but I do like it a lot. I mean, Olive's not my favorite character, and neither is Adam, to be honest, but I don't know. I think it's kind of a cute story. I still stand by the fact that I don't think Adam is doing very much. I think the romance is starting to pick up, and I think that's like starting to make it a little better. Like, he'll do romantic things, and I'm like, okay, that's sweet. Like, carrying her, you know, because she had like a blister. Like, I'm like, okay, that's cute. There's some cute things that are happening, and they just like hooked up for the first time. And then, you know, he just dropped the bomb that he might be moving. And I just want her to tell him so much about what happened with Tom. And that was like shocking. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, what the hell, you know? I feel like this one is keeping me interested and keeping me wanting to turn the pages. And isn't that like one of the signs of a good book? Just it's actually keeping me interested, and that's really important to me. So I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts. Saturday, and a couple days ago I finally finished The Love Hypothesis. I really thought that I was not gonna like it because there's so much hype about it, and I was like, okay, it took me so long to read it. I know it's like a TikTok darling, and I just was like, I can't. I'm like really bad with like reading hyped books, but I actually really liked it. If we're doing star ratings, I'd probably give it like a 4. It was just really easy to read, and it was really light. It was kind of like what I needed right now. It was really light, and it was really fast. And, you know, people love Adam. I don't love Adam. I'm just going to say it. I think that he wasn't giving that much. Again, I will say it again. Please don't come for me. Him and Aaron Blackford are like in the same category. They just give the minimum because, you know, he was like fake dating. So like, what would he have to give? And so I think that like that's always in my mind. I'm like, he's fake dating, so he doesn't really have to give anything. There were a couple cute parts that I liked, but again, I left my book upstairs, so like I don't have any reference points, and I have a horrible book memory. So I'm gonna have to come back. I'm gonna have to like insert something in here and come back and talk about it. But the thing was that I will say that book made me want to pick up Love on the Brain. And I went yesterday to the bookstore because I specifically wanted this book. Like, that was literally like, and I don't normally do that. I usually just go to the bookstore and like, see what's around. But I was like, I need to go to the bookstore. I need to get this right now. I am already 120 pages into it. I started it last night. And it's I don't know how to say, it's a tougher book. It's not as cute. It's not cute, like, by any means. And I feel like this is one of the first true, like, enemies to lovers books that I've actually read. And it's kind of like a slow burn because literally Levi is just, like, very standoffish and not very, like, cute. And he's very, like, point blank, period, to the point. I'm a scientist, no frills, just serious. And it really feels like he just does not fucking like her, like, at all. So I feel like, so Allie, she does a good job at making you like feel like, wow, this guy does not like this bitch. Like, it, you know, it's clear to me that he is just, and it feels like he's undermining her, and like, just, it's so infuriating. And it really feels like he just doesn't like her. And it's like slow going, so it's kind of like building that tension of like, wow, okay, he doesn't like her. And it's building that for over 100 pages of just like, yeah, this is true enemies to lovers, you know? But there's a lot of commentary about women in STEM in this, a lot more, in my opinion, than in the last book. And I like that. This is, like, to me, a better written book. It's not as light, it's not as cute, and I appreciate that. It's making me, like, think a lot more. And I'm also highlighting and tabbing this one. I don't know, I have things written and thoughts, and the thing about the last book is that I really wanted to tab, but I felt like I wanted to tab and it was like too late. I was already like halfway through the book, so I was just kind of like, I'll just tab and not highlight. So I wanted to like annotate, but I was already like halfway through the book. But I'm tabbing and highlighting this one, and I really like it. The thing that's fun, it's really funny, like that. She has me cracking up. She has me cracking up, honestly. And it's funnier than the last one. I thought the last one was funny, but this one much funnier. But today I have a full day planned out for a friend's birthday, so I don't really know how much I'm gonna read, but I'm hoping to read a little more, and if I don't finish it today, I will definitely finish it tomorrow. So I'm about to go to a birthday brunch, but I wanted to update you because I read a little bit more on In Love on the Brain. We're starting to see a much more nicer Levi. And we're starting to realize that this may have all been a production. I feel like he was very standoffish, and so B was just kind of like, this man hates me. But I feel like he actually loves her. I feel like it's just like hate and love, and I'm convinced he thinks she's still married. So he keeps asking her about Tom, and I'm like, I guarantee he thinks that she's still married. So I don't know. Again, I think this is, would this be considered slow burn? To me, it feels like it's slow. We're going very slow, and I don't know. I'm really enjoying this. I've been tabbing it. I don't know if you can see that. I ran out of green tabs, so now I'm just using pink tabs, but yeah. So I'm gonna read a little bit before my friend picks me up. Good morning. It is Sunday, and I am going to spend the rest of the day reading Love on the Brain. I am still about 140 pages in. I only read a little bit yesterday, but I'm hoping to finish this today. That's the goal. So I am only 202 pages into Love on the Brain. I feel like I'm reading this so slowly. Hopefully I can get through it today. I'm like annotating and tabbing, and the crazy thing is that I'm almost done with my tab sheet, which I don't think this has ever happened to me before. We're back in New York, which I was excited to come back, but that trip home was a little bit crazy. But I will say I got to finish 2 books. So I should probably wrap up this like kind of reading vlog that I did, because who knows how long the video is going to be. I have no idea. I need to edit it, and I don't know how long it's going to be, but let's wrap it up. So I read The Love Hypothesis, and I'm sure everybody knows what this book is about. I feel like if you're on TikTok, you know what this book is about. But I'll just give a brief summary. So, you know, 2 people working in STEM. This girl is, I think she's a PhD candidate, and she is, you know, working in STEM, and she needs to convince her best friend that it's, oh, see, she knew I was filming, so she just wanted to, now she's like all in it. I'm trying to get my coffee. You guys hear her? She'll be in it. So she's trying to get her PhD, and she's trying to convince her best friend that it's okay for her to date her ex, because she's like, I'm over him. It was never even anything that serious. Like, girl, you can date him. But her friend is so nice that she doesn't feel like it's right. So she pretends to fake date this man, Adam Carlson, and to convince her best friend that it's okay. She's like, I've moved on with Dr. Adam Carlson. This has the tropes of like grumpy sunshine. There's also like talk of like cancer and death. There's also like the trigger warnings for like sexual harassment, and see, I like wrote them down because I was like, okay, I will forget these. And there's a trigger warning for something that I call wielding of power, where someone in a powerful position will basically use their power to try and get you to sleep with them, which is disgusting. And I feel like that happens in this book. And so just watch out for the trigger warnings. But, you know, people have to know the tropes. And so the tropes in this, again, I wrote them down, are grumpy sunshine, fake dating, and like academia. It's set in like the world of STEM, which I have a newfound love for books set in the world of STEM. But anyway, did I like this? Yes. I was really worried that I wouldn't like it because I'm really bad with books that are like super hyped. I'm kind of like, will I like it? Will I not? And I feel this like immense pressure to actually like it. And it's kind of like, but what if I don't, you know? Which that's fine. But at first I didn't love it. I didn't even like tab it. Like I just tabbed, but I didn't highlight or annotate or anything because I was kind of like, what if I don't like it? Then I want to give it away. But towards the end, it kind of grew on me. My problem with stuff like this is that, you know, people have really high love for like the men in these books. And I'm sorry, but Adam didn't do it for me. Like, I'm just going to say it. To me, I put him in the same category as, what's that guy's name? Aaron Blackford from The Spanish Love Deception. And I think that is something that comes along with fake dating, because when you're fake dating, like they don't actually have to be all like mushy or lovey or cute or anything. And so they just kind of give the bare minimum. And so I just like, he's not doing anything, but people are falling in love with him. That just is my hot take. Please don't come for me. I did like the book. Adam wasn't like my favorite, and neither was her. Like neither was she, neither was Olive. She was kind of mid, whatever. I thought the book was cute. I love the fake dating trope. But I will say, this is fluffy and light. It was really easy to get through. It was a really quick read. And I thought that the reasons why she wanted to go into STEM were really important. And I thought that finally, like halfway through, we were finally getting the Adam that like people fall in love with. And so I was kind of like, okay, I'm really happy to see that. And I understand why people like him. But you know, if we're doing stars, I'd give this like a 3.5, maybe 3.5. But I will say, the one thing that this book did, it got me to read Love on the Brain. And I know that there are mixed reviews for this book. I know that people don't think it's as great as Love Hypothesis, but I thought it was better. Don't come for me. This book I tabbed, and I don't know if you can, like, I tabbed it, highlighted it. This book is all, me and this book had a great time together. I'll just say that. And I don't know what it is. I think I almost ran out of tabs. That's the crazy thing. Like, I never run out of tabs. I almost ran out of tabs, and that happened because I literally tabbed almost everything. I kind of went on that thing where I heard someone say, like, when they asked, what do you tab? It's like, I tab whatever the fuck I wanted to tab. And that was like a great way to go into this book. So this book is about people that work in like the space field, so like NASA and NIH. And so this girl, her name is B. I literally cannot pronounce her last name. I'm not even gonna try. But she works for NIH, and she's a neural engineer. She's like a neuroscientist. And so she gets a job working with NASA. And the person she has to team up with, she thought she was gonna be a leader of like the group, because they're making like helmets for astronauts, and she thought she was gonna be their leader. And it turns out she's a co-leader with this man, Levi. Okay. Now, Levi is a man I can get behind. And the crazy thing is they are enemies. They are enemies. So this is like the trope is enemies to lovers. Again, I wrote it down, tropes, triggers, and themes. The main trope is enemies to lovers. And that's like number one trope. There are triggers for sexual harassment. There's a lot of fucking misogyny in this book. She's obviously trying to shed light on what women in STEM deal with. And I felt like this book did a really good job at that. And that was like one of the main themes about women in STEM and all the bullshit that they deal with from men. But she did it in like a funny way. It was just so good. I can't even, 5 stars, like easy 5 stars. I felt like also compared to the Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain was not as fluffy, not as light. It dealt with like really, just the reading about like all the misogyny and like the things that women in STEM go through. It's just like, wow. And I felt like that was like one of the main things about this book. But the enemies to lovers thing, that's one of my favorite tropes. I mean, I love friends to lovers. Friends to lovers is probably number one for me. But enemies to lovers used to be my number one before I understood the greatness of friends to lovers. But I used to love enemies to lovers. And this is enemies to lovers. And to me, it does enemies to lovers so well. So well. This is the first book where I felt like this is like a true enemies to lovers. Like Ali Hazelwood knows how to write someone to make you think like, wow, this man does not like this bitch. Like at all. Like you're like, wow, okay, he does not like her. He's actively trying to sabotage her work, even though it would directly affect his work. And, you know, you find out later on like what's really going on. But there was literally 100 pages of her convincing me that this man is evil. Convincing me that this man does not like this girl. And I was convinced. She had me. I will say that. Oh, there she goes. She just wants the attention. She knew I was filming. But Love on the Brain. And I couldn't stop thinking of Rihanna's Love on the Brain. Like, obviously I'm not gonna play it here, but it's just like, I could not stop thinking about that song when I read this, or every time I read the title. And Levi, he's just a genuinely good guy. You know what I mean? Like, he is the Snape of this book, in my opinion. He is the Snape of this book. I even wrote that. I said, could he be the Snape all along? And I just loved everything about it. And her obsession with Mary Curie is freaking hilarious. This book is funny. If you want, look how startled she looks. Oh, I gotta figure out how to zoom in on her because she's golden. She's gonna be the star of the YouTube, clearly. But this book is just so fun. And like, I say fun because it's freaking hilarious. This book had me cracking up. I would write LOLs all the time. This book, it did something to me. And one of the major themes and the reasons why I think I connected to this book so much is because B was betrayed by her best friend and her ex-fiance. And so she has kind of like sworn off love. She's like, love is fleeting. Love is an emotion that doesn't exist. She meets Levi and obviously they're like enemies, but it's a romance. So you kind of know where it's going already. But it's just, she's sworn off love for so long, and I know what it's like to get your heart broken, and I know what it's like to have to like mend a broken heart, and they talk about that. And I really connected with that. Not saying that like if you don't connect with that, like you wouldn't like this book, you know what I mean? But it's just like that really touched me, her story and like the shit that she's had to go through. And just like her having to mend her broken heart and talking about that. And they talk about grief and like loss and just kind of like forsaking love and not even being remotely interested in it and being so scared that if someone comes into your life that shows you and gives you everything you want and need, and they show you that they're like not going to abandon you like every other person in your life, like every other person in her life has, that she's so scared, being so scared that like you can't even let that person in, that you're so scared you can't even allow yourself to love. I was just like, you are preaching to the choir. Like I was just like, B, I am B, we are one. Like I understood and I got that, you know? And that was really like touching for me to read and very personal, I think. And so this book touched me in a way that I didn't expect it to. And so I just loved it. Oh, she has to zoom me as always. But anyway, if I had to give this one, I would, if I were doing 5 stars, 10 stars. This has become one of my favorite books. And maybe I'll do like a video of like my favorite romances. You know, I'll just give you a hint. It'll obviously include Dani Brown, and it will include some other ones like this. And yeah, but it's also, I will say, another thing that these books did to me is that they really made me interested in romances set in STEM. And I'm realizing I have a ton more books set in STEM, set in the world of STEM. And I think I'm gonna read some of those and like maybe do a video on that. So anyway, thanks for sticking around. Love on the Brain, Love Hypothesis for this chaotic vlog. And hopefully I'll do more, but thanks so much for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.